The war did not begin with a warning. It began with a sound, an echo across the sky that made every human soldier on Earth stop and look upward. A single silver tear opened in the clouds, glowing blue like a wound in the air itself. For a moment, people thought it was a storm or some kind of strange weather. But then the tear grew wider, wider than a building, and something stepped out of it. The figure was tall, almost elegant, with green skin and bright markings that glowed softly. She moved with grace, but her eyes carried fear, urgency, and desperation. Behind her came two more aliens, armored, tense, and scanning everything with unfamiliar weapons. The human soldiers raised their guns, confused and worried, ready for a threat. But the first alien lifted her hand slowly, showing she carried no weapon. Her voice reached them like calm wind, carried by some kind of translator. "We come for the one called Captain Ryan Holt," she said. "Your world is not in danger, ours is." The soldiers exchanged looks. Captain Ryan Holt stepped forward, his face steady but confused. He was known for facing battles without fear, but nothing in his life had prepared him for aliens stepping out of the sky and asking for him by name. "How do you know me?" he asked. The alien woman looked at him with eyes full of respect and another emotion he could not understand. "Because you are the only one who can kill the creature that is destroying our world." The soldiers murmured. Ryan stayed quiet, studying her face. She did not look like an enemy. She looked like someone who had run out of choices. Before he could speak again, the sky rippled. A huge craft, shaped like a crescent moon, appeared above them with a deep humming sound. It hovered with impossible steadiness. In moments, Ryan knew this was no dream. This was the beginning of something far larger than any war he had known. The alien woman bowed her head. "Please, we do not have time. If we fail today, my people will not survive another sunrise." Ryan removed his helmet. "Tell me what you need." The world seemed to hold its breath as the aliens escorted him into the craft. Inside, everything glowed softly, almost like living metal. The air smelled fresh and warm, unlike anything on Earth. Ryan felt the ship move, but he didn't feel weight or pressure, only a strange calm. The alien woman introduced herself as Lysera. She walked beside him, explaining their journey. Her people, the Thalran, lived on a distant world full of forests, rivers, and creatures unlike anything humans had seen. But lately, everything had changed. A beast, something ancient, powerful, and intelligent, had awakened deep within their world. They called it the Apex One. It hunted their villages, destroyed their defenses, and nothing they did could slow it down. Ryan listened carefully. "So why me? Why a human?" Lysera sighed softly. "Because humans are different. You adapt quickly. You change your tactics. You do not fear impossible odds. We have watched your battles. You think in ways we cannot. Our warriors fight with tradition. You fight with instinct and innovation. That is why we need you." Ryan did not know whether to feel proud or strange. It was unsettling to think aliens had been watching Earth's wars and studying human behavior. But he also saw truth in her words. Humans survived by fighting unpredictably. Maybe that was why they believed he could succeed. Lysera stopped near a large screen. It showed a forest world with floating mountains, glowing rivers, and strange birds flying in bright colors. It looked peaceful until the screen zoomed in. Trees broke like matchsticks. Large rocks were smashed aside, and then from the shadows the beast appeared. Ryan felt something tighten in his chest. The creature was huge, taller than buildings. Its skin looked metallic and alive at the same time. Its eyes glowed like molten gold. Its teeth curved like blades. It moved with frightening intelligence, not like a wild animal, but like a thinking creature choosing its prey with purpose. "That thing, you expect me to kill it?" Ryan asked. Lysera lowered her eyes. "We expect you to try. Our warriors tried and died. Our machines failed. Our traps failed. It has no fear, no weakness, we understand. But we believe you may find one." Ryan studied the beast again. He remembered battles on Earth, facing machines, drones, and armored threats, but nothing looked like this. Yet he also knew that fear never helped anyone on the battlefield. "When do we arrive?" he asked. Lysera's expression softened, almost relieved. "Soon, but first you must meet our war circle. They will give you everything you need." Ryan followed her into a room with tall windows looking out into space. Several Thalran warriors stood waiting. They wore armor shaped like the forest, leaves, vines, and patterns glowing like stars. They bowed to him, but he could see doubt in their eyes. To them he looked small, fragile, and unprepared. A deep voice spoke. "This human is the one you chose. He does not look strong enough to face the Apex One." Ryan turned to find a tall Thalran male staring at him with cold eyes. Before Ryan could answer, Lysera stepped forward. Strength is not everything, she said firmly. He has the mind we need. Ryan stepped closer to the tall warrior. If your beast thinks only strength matters, then that's already its first weakness. The warriors exchanged surprised glances. Lysera smiled faintly. The ship trembled gently. They were entering the alien world's atmosphere. Ryan approached the window. What he saw took his breath away. Floating islands hung above forests like giant stones suspended by magic. Waterfalls fell upward instead of downward. Strange birds left trails of glowing dust as they flew. It was beautiful and dangerous. Lysera placed a small wrist device on Ryan's arm. This will translate our language and guide you. Stay close to me when we land. There are places even we do not walk alone. Ryan nodded. The ground rushed closer. Fires burned in the distance. Smoke curled into the sky. Whatever the beast was, it was already destroying something. The ship landed softly. The doors opened. Heat, jungle scent, and the sound of distant roars filled the air. Ryan took his first step onto the alien soil. He did not know that the creature he had been brought here to kill was already watching him. And it did not see an enemy. It saw something far more interesting. Ryan stepped through the humid air of the alien world, feeling the ground shift softly under his boots. The jungle around him looked alive in a way Earth forests never did. Bright vines glowed with soft blue light, floating insects moved like tiny stars, and strange plants whispered when touched by the wind. Every sound felt close, like the world itself was listening. The Thalran warriors formed a protective circle around him as they walked through the clearing. Their green skin reflected the warm sunlight that broke through the thick leaves above. Ryan noticed how quietly they moved, almost like shadows. He tried to match their steps, but the alien ground made it impossible to stay silent. Lysera walked beside him, watching every movement around them. She seemed calm, but her golden eyes carried a hidden fear, as if danger could appear at any moment. Ryan kept his hand near his weapon, even though he already felt that a normal human gun would not be enough against the creature he had seen on the screen. The path grew darker as they entered deeper foliage. Strange birds called from the treetops with metallic cries. Something large moved in the bushes far away, shaking the leaves violently before disappearing again. Ryan felt the hair on his neck rise. "Is that your apex one?" he whispered. Lysera shook her head slowly. "Number that is something smaller, still dangerous, but it does not hunt us often." Ryan did not ask what smaller meant. He already felt like he was walking through the stomach of some giant beast, every shadow waiting to swallow him whole. The group finally reached a large structure built from stone and glowing vines woven into walls. It looked ancient, almost like a temple. Ryan noticed claw marks scratched along the stone surface, deep, wide, and fresh. Someone touched the marks and frowned. "It came near the war circle," a Thalran warrior muttered. "This is worse than we feared." Ryan followed them inside. Blue flames lit the interior, flickering without heat. The air smelled like herbs and dust. Several Thalran elders stood in a half-circle, each carrying a staff shaped like serpent coils. They studied Ryan silently. One elder stepped forward, his voice deep and tired. "Human soldier, you stand in our last safe place. Beyond this ground, the Apex One hunts freely. We have seen it destroy our machines and our strongest warriors. You must understand that this mission may cost you your life." Ryan looked at the elder without blinking. "I knew that the moment I saw the beast." The elder nodded, surprised by the calm answer. "Then you will receive what help we can offer." He motioned toward a table. On it lay strange tools, small spheres, sharp discs, and long rods with swirling patterns. The elder explained each one in simple words. The spheres produced energy shields. The discs acted like traps. The rods could emit sound waves that confused dangerous creatures. Ryan listened carefully, trying to memorize everything. But none of it felt like enough. Lysera noticed his expression. "These are to help you survive the world, not to kill the Apex One. The creature is beyond our weapons." Ryan placed a hand on the table. "Then how do you expect me to kill something that cannot be killed?" The elder stepped closer. "You must find its mind, not its weakness. The Apex One does not attack out of hunger. It attacks with intention. It has a reason. We do not understand it, but perhaps you can." Ryan frowned. "So you brought me here not to kill it, but to understand it?" Lysera hesitated before answering. "Both, but mostly to try something new, something we cannot do." Ryan exhaled slowly. This mission was sounding more impossible every moment, yet he felt a strange pull in his chest, a curiosity, a challenge, something deeper than fear. A loud roar shook the walls. Dust fell from the ceiling. The Thalran warriors grabbed their weapons immediately. Another roar followed, even closer. Ryan felt the floor vibrate under his feet. "Is it here?" Lysera's voice was tight. "Not here but near. It moves faster than any creature we know." The elder pointed toward a narrow passage. "Go, reach the upper observation point. You may see it from there. Your journey begins now." Ryan nodded and followed Lysera up a spiral path carved into the stone. As they climbed, he could hear the distant sounds of trees cracking and ground shaking. Something massive was moving through the jungle. Something hunting. They reached the top, a wide balcony overlooking a valley filled with glowing plants, smoking craters, and broken trees. Ryan scanned the area. He saw no movement at first. Then he saw it. The apex one stepped into the clearing like a living storm. Its huge body rippled with power. Its metallic scales shined under the sun. Its golden eyes burned like fire. It moved with more intelligence than any animal he had seen before. It stopped, lifted its head, and sniffed the air. Ryan froze. Lysera whispered, "Do not move, it senses everything." The beast lowered its head toward a fallen tree and pushed it aside with almost casual strength. Then it turned its head slightly, directly toward the balcony where Ryan stood. Ryan felt the creature's gaze hit him like a physical force. The beast paused, its eyes narrowed. Lysera stepped back, fear rising in her voice. "It sees you. It should not be able to at this distance." The beast took a slow step forward, then another. Ryan's heartbeat grew louder, not from fear but from something stranger, an odd feeling that the creature was not looking at him with hunger or rage. It was studying him, almost curious. The apex one lifted its head higher, letting out a low rumbling sound that made the air vibrate. One of the warriors shouted from below, "Get back inside!" Lysera grabbed Ryan's arm. "Move," but Ryan did not move. His eyes stayed locked with the creature's. For a moment, just a moment, he felt something pass between them, a connection he could not explain. And the beast, instead of attacking or roaring, tilted its head slightly, as if trying to understand him. Lysera pulled him hard, breaking the moment. The warriors sealed the balcony doors behind them. The elder approached, trembling. "It looked at you with thought. This has never happened before." Ryan's voice was quiet. It wasn't angry, it wasn't afraid, it was recognizing something. Lysera stared at him. "What did it recognize?" Ryan shook his head slowly. "I don't know." But deep inside, the apex one did not see an enemy. It saw something familiar. Ryan did not sleep that night, even though the Thalrin offered him a resting chamber made of soft light and warm air. His mind kept returning to the moment on the balcony, to those glowing golden eyes staring at him with something far more complex than anger. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the apex one tilting its massive head, as if trying to speak in a language only instinct could understand. By morning, he felt both exhausted and strangely focused. Lysera met him outside the chamber, her expression calm but tight with concern. "The war circle wishes to speak with you again," she said, guiding him through the corridor. They reached the main hall where the elders waited. Their faces were serious, glowing markings dim from worry. One elder stepped forward. "You claim the apex one looked at you differently," he said. "Explain exactly what you felt." Ryan hesitated. It was hard to put into words. "It didn't look at me like prey," he said. "It looked at me like it was trying to understand me, as if it recognized something." The elders exchanged nervous glances. One whispered, "This cannot be." Lysera stepped forward. "Maybe it sensed his mind. Maybe humans think in patterns the creature has seen before." Ryan frowned. "Is the apex one intelligent? You said it was powerful, but you never said it could think like that." The elder sighed slowly. "We did not hide this from you. We simply do not fully understand it. The apex one does not behave like an animal. It does not hunt only for food or territory. It studies us, watches us, learns from us. That is why we fear it." Another elder added softly, "When we fight it, it adapts. Every tactic we use works only once, then it learns our methods." Ryan crossed his arms. "So you're telling me I'm up against something that thinks?" The elder nodded. "And something that grows stronger with every mistake we make." Ryan had survived many battlefields, but nothing sounded as dangerous as a creature that could learn faster than its enemies. Still, he could not shake the memory of that strange connection. Lysera looked at him carefully. "We must go somewhere today, a place where the creature once lived. Maybe you will understand more." Ryan nodded. He felt ready, not confident, but ready. They left the stone structure and walked deeper into the jungle. The air grew thicker, filled with scents of strange flowers and rich soil. The sounds of distant creatures echoed through the trees, roars, calls, and clicking noises that made Ryan uncomfortable. As they moved, the ground sloped downward. Soon, they stood before a valley covered in vines and strange ruins. Large stones lay broken, carved with symbols Ryan could not read. Lysera knelt beside one of the markings. This place was once holy to our people. Long ago, our ancestors believed the Apex One was a guardian spirit of the wild. A protector, not a killer. Ryan crouched beside her. So what changed? Lysera touched a broken stone gently. We did. As our cities grew, we pushed deeper into the forests. We took more land, cut more trees, built more walls. The beast began to appear only after we disturbed the oldest places. Ryan looked around. The valley felt heavy, like a place full of old memories. You think you caused it to wake up? Lysera nodded. Yes, but we do not know why it became so violent. Ryan walked past her, scanning the ground. There were claw marks here too, but older, smoother. He found a large footprint sunk deep into the soil. It was almost the size of a small pool, shaped like a mix between a lion's paw and a reptile's talon. It was here recently, Ryan murmured. Lysera's face tightened. We should not stay long. Suddenly, a nearby tree cracked loudly, splitting in half. Birds scattered into the air, screeching. Ryan grabbed his weapon. The Thalran warriors formed a defensive circle. Something moved in the shadows. Not the Apex One, Ryan sensed that immediately. This movement felt different, quicker, smaller. From the foliage, 3 creatures leaped out. They were wolf-like but larger, with narrow bodies, spiked backs, and glowing green eyes. They growled, circling the group. Ryan raised his gun, but Lysera held out her arm. Do not shoot unless you must. Noise attracts bigger things. The creatures advanced slowly. Ryan stepped back, trying to read their movements. They looked hungry and desperate. One lunged. Ryan dodged and struck it with the energy rod the elders had given him. A pulse of sound sent the creature rolling backward, yelping in pain. The other 2 attacked the Thalran warriors, who blocked with glowing shields. Ryan didn't wait. He moved fast, striking again, using the alien tools like extensions of his body. The creatures were fast, but he was faster. Human instinct and battle training took over. One creature leaped at Lysera. Ryan threw himself forward, tackling it midair. They rolled across the ground. It snapped its jaws inches from his face. He jammed the rod under its jaw and released another blast. The creature collapsed. The others fled into the vegetation. Lysera rushed to Ryan's side. Are you hurt? Just scratched, he said, wiping dirt from his face. The warriors surrounded them again. We must leave, one said urgently. This area is not safe. The Apex One comes when predators flee. Ryan froze. What do you mean comes when they flee? Lysera answered quietly. They run from it, everything runs from it. A deep rumbling sound echoed through the valley. The trees shook. The flowers trembled. The ground vibrated under their feet. The warriors raised their weapons. Lysera grabbed Ryan's arm. We need to go now. Ryan didn't move. He stared toward the valley entrance. A dark shape passed behind the trees. Only a shadow, but massive. The rumble grew louder, closer. The warriors prepared for a fight, but Ryan felt something strange. The same feeling as before, the sense that the creature was searching, not attacking, observing. The shadow moved again. A huge golden eye appeared between the trees. Lysera stepped back in fear. Ryan stood still. The Apex One was here. Its gaze locked on him again, not with rage, but with unsettling curiosity. And this time, it stepped fully into the open, towering above them, lowering its head like a creature greeting something it recognized from long ago. The Apex One stood at the edge of the valley, its giant form casting a long shadow across the glowing vines and cracked stones. Its breathing rumbled like distant thunder, but it did not charge. It did not roar. It simply watched. Ryan kept his hands loose at his sides, not reaching for his weapon. Something deep in him whispered that any sudden movement would break the strange balance between them. Lysera and the warriors stepped slowly away, leaving him standing alone before the towering creature. The Apex One lowered its head slightly, golden eyes locked onto the human with an intensity that felt almost human. It sniffed the air as if trying to confirm something. Ryan could feel heat from its breath brush his face, warm and strangely calm. Lysera whispered from behind him, "Do not move. It is judging you." Ryan did not speak. He stayed completely still. The creature's eyes narrowed, studying every small detail, the shape of his armor, the rhythm of his breathing, the posture of his body. Then it made a soft sound, low and vibrating, something between a growl and a hum. The sound did not feel like a threat. It felt almost welcoming. Ryan swallowed hard. "You're not trying to kill me, are you?" he said quietly. The creature blinked slowly, as if answering with silence. One of the warriors lost control of his fear and raised his weapon. "We must attack before it attacks us!" The Apex One's eyes snapped toward the warrior in a flash of anger. Ryan reacted instantly. "Don't!" he shouted, stepping forward with both hands raised. The creature focused on Ryan again. Its body relaxed slightly. Lysera grabbed the frightened warrior's arm and forced him back. "If you attack it, we all die." Ryan took a small step forward. The ground trembled as the Apex One lowered its massive head until its snout was only a breath away from him. He could see reflections of the glowing plants in its golden eyes. He could hear the slow, controlled breath inside its enormous chest. In that moment, Ryan felt something he had never felt in battle. An awareness, a presence, as if the creature carried an ancient memory and was searching for a missing piece inside him. The Apex One lifted its head, turned slowly, and walked away. The entire jungle went silent. Lysera gasped. "It spared us." The elders from the war circle had told Ryan the creature always attacked, always crushed anything in its path. But this time, it walked away like a guardian leaving a protected place. Ryan watched its massive figure vanish into the forest. "It didn't come here to fight," he said softly. "It came to see me." The warriors whispered among themselves, confused and frightened. Lysera approached Ryan with eyes wide in disbelief. "Why you? Why only you?" Ryan shook his head. "I don't know, but I think this thing is smarter than any of us understood. It's not hunting blindly." They returned to the War Circle headquarters as the sun dipped behind floating mountains, casting golden light across the alien world. The elders listened carefully as Ryan described every detail, the creature's gaze, its movements, its strange calmness in his presence. One elder stroked his long markings thoughtfully. "There is ancient legend among our people," he said slowly. "It speaks of a guardian creature that chooses a companion from another tribe, a guide, a partner. But this was only a myth." Another elder added, "The Apex One killed our warriors, destroyed our machines. It never behaved like a guardian." Lysera looked at Ryan. "Unless it never meant to be a monster, unless it only reacted to our fear and attacks." Ryan leaned forward. "Maybe it didn't understand you. Maybe it doesn't see you as something it can communicate with. But it looked at me differently. It felt like it was waiting for me." The elders fell silent. One finally spoke. "If the creature has chosen you, then we must understand why before more of our world is destroyed." Ryan felt the weight of their hopes on his shoulders. "Then what's our next step?" Lysera took a deep breath. "We go where the Apex One sleeps. Where it returns when it is not hunting." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "You know where that is?" Lysera nodded. "We know the general direction, but no Thalren can enter that place. Those who tried never returned." Ryan stood. "Then I go." Lysera grabbed his arm. "You cannot go alone." Ryan looked her in the eyes. "You saw what happened. That thing doesn't want to hurt me. It wants something else." She lowered her voice. "And what if that changes?" Ryan smiled slightly. "Then I'll improvise." The next morning, they left at sunrise. The jungle glowed with soft morning light as they traveled deeper into the wild than any Thalren had dared in years. Strange creatures watched them from the shadows, some floating, some crawling, some perched on twisted branches. As they walked, Lysera spoke quietly. "Our people used to live in harmony with these lands, but fear changed everything. We attacked the Apex One because we did not understand it, and it fought back." Ryan nodded. "Fear always creates war." Hours passed before they reached a massive ravine with a dark cave carved into the mountainside. The mouth of the cave was enormous, large enough for the Apex One to enter without lowering its head. Claw marks lined the stone, deep and ancient. Lysera stopped. "This is as far as we go. The creature sleeps in there. If we step inside, we die." Ryan stepped closer to the entrance. Warm air blew from the darkness, carrying the scent of earth and something wild. He felt his heartbeat quicken, but not with fear, with anticipation. Lysera touched his shoulder one last time. "If you go inside, you may not return." Ryan looked back at her. "If I don't go inside, your world won't survive." He turned toward the cave and entered the darkness alone. The air grew warmer. The ground beneath him was soft, almost smooth. Strange glowing crystals lit the tunnel with gentle blue light. Ryan walked slowly, listening. He could hear a deep, rhythmic sound echoing through the passage. Breathing. He stepped forward, and the tunnel opened into a huge chamber. There, lying on a bed of soft moss and broken stone, was the Apex One. Its golden eyes were closed. Its enormous chest rose and fell with slow breaths. It looked almost peaceful, like a sleeping giant. Ryan took another step. The creature's eyes opened instantly. Golden light filled the chamber. The Apex One lifted its head and stared directly at him. Not with anger, but with a strange recognition, as if it had been waiting for him to arrive. Ryan stood inside the vast cave, feeling the warm air move around him as the Apex One slowly lifted its massive head. Its golden eyes glowed softly, lighting the dark chamber like rising suns. Even though the creature was enormous, larger than any Earth animal, there was no fear twisting in Ryan's chest this time. Instead, he felt a strange sense of calm, as if he had stepped into a meeting that was always meant to happen. The creature stared at him without blinking. Its huge body remained still, powerful muscles resting but ready. Ryan took a slow breath and stepped forward, careful not to make any sudden movements. "I'm not here to fight you," he said softly. Unsure whether the creature could understand words, but hoping it could understand tone. The Apex One tilted its head, the same exact movement it made in the valley. Its breath washed over him, warm and steady. Ryan felt the air vibrate around him, like the creature was speaking in a language beyond sound. He placed his hand gently on his chest, then slowly extended it forward. The creature's eyes tracked his hand. A low hum filled the chamber, a deep sound that felt almost like a question. Ryan took one more step. "What do you want from me?" he whispered. The Apex One lowered its snout until it hovered just above the ground near him. It did not attack. It did not threaten. Instead, it pushed a small stone toward him with its enormous claw. The stone glowed faintly with light. Ryan picked it up. It felt warm, pulsing with a soft rhythm like a heartbeat. "What is this?" he asked. The creature blinked slowly, then turned its head toward the back of the cave. Ryan followed its gaze. He saw old carvings on the wall, drawings of creatures that looked similar to the Apex One standing beside small humanoid figures, guardians, partners. Ryan felt a shiver run through him. "You're not a monster," he said quietly. "You're a protector." The creature made a soft, rumbling sound that almost felt like agreement. Ryan walked toward the wall, studying the carvings. They showed the Apex One standing in front of forests and mountains, almost like it was guiding the people who once lived here. But the last carving showed a different scene. The creature alone, surrounded by flames, the humanoid figures gone. Something happened long ago, something that broke the bond between the creature and this world. Ryan turned back to the Apex One. "They thought you were attacking them for no reason, but you were trying to protect something, weren't you?" The creature lowered its head again. Its eyes softened, glowing gently. Ryan stepped closer until he was just an arm's length away. He reached out slowly, watching for any sign of aggression. The Apex One stayed perfectly still. With a deep breath, Ryan placed his hand on the creature's snout. Heat spread across his palm, not burning but warm and alive. The creature exhaled softly, a sound that felt almost like relief. For a moment, the world fell silent. No war, no fear, no misunderstanding, just a human and an ancient protector meeting across time. Suddenly, the cave shook violently. Rocks fell from the ceiling. The Apex One leaped to its feet, roaring with alarm. Ryan stumbled backward. Voices echoed from the tunnel. Lysera and her warriors rushed into the chamber, weapons drawn and eyes wide with fear. "Ryan!" she shouted. "Are you alive? We felt the ground shaking." The Apex One moved between Ryan and the Thalren instantly, spreading its wings. Huge wings Ryan had not seen before, creating a barrier. The warriors panicked. "It's going to attack!" Ryan raised both hands. "Stop! Do not fire!" Lysera froze, staring at the scene. Ryan stood behind the giant beast, unharmed, calm. The Apex One was protecting him, not threatening him. Ryan stepped around the creature and moved toward the Thalren. "Put your weapons down," he said firmly. "It's not your enemy." One warrior shook his head violently. "This creature destroyed our villages. It killed our fighters." Ryan pointed to the carvings on the wall. "It was here long before you. It was a guardian. Something happened. Something made it attack. But it's not doing it out of malice." Lysera stepped closer, looking into the Apex One's calm, golden eyes. "If it is a guardian, what was it guarding?" The creature made a deep sound and looked toward the glowing stone in Ryan's hand. Ryan understood. This is connected to its purpose. Maybe it's home. Maybe it's past. The ground shook again, harder this time. Dust rained from the ceiling. The Apex One let out a warning roar. Lysera's voice trembled. "Something else is coming. Something big." Ryan looked at her sharply. "Bigger than this?" "Yes," she whispered. "Our scouts reported a second creature. Something twisted, something corrupted." Ryan turned to the Apex One. "Is that what you've been fighting?" The creature growled deeply, confirming it. Ryan felt everything fall into place. The Apex One wasn't attacking villages for no reason. It was chasing something worse, something the Thalren hadn't seen, something only the Apex One could sense. He looked at the Thalren. "You've been blaming the wrong creature." Lysera stared at Ryan in shock. "Then the real enemy?" Ryan nodded. "Is coming right now." A monstrous roar echoed from the tunnel outside, louder, harsher, angry. Even the Apex One stepped back slightly, wings tightening, muscles coiling. Lysera whispered, fear shaking her voice. "That sound, it is not alive. It is something broken." Ryan turned to the Apex One, meeting its gaze. "If you want to protect this world, then we fight together." The creature lowered its head slowly, accepting. Ryan turned to the Thalren warriors. "If we want to live, we join it. This thing is not our enemy." Another violent roar ripped through the cave, stones cracking as something massive approached. The Apex One spread its wings, ready to defend the cave with the human at its side. And for the first time, Ryan wasn't facing a monster he was sent to kill. He was standing beside the guardian he was meant to save. The roar from the tunnel grew louder, shaking the cave so violently that cracks raced across the stone floor. Dust poured from the ceiling in thick clouds. The Thalren warriors formed a tight formation, fear rising in their eyes. Lysera held her staff tightly, her markings glowing bright from stress. Ryan stood beside the Apex One, feeling the massive creature's warm breath on his shoulder. It crouched low, wings half spread, golden eyes burning with focus. Whatever was coming, it was not just another predator. Even the Apex One seemed tense, which told Ryan everything he needed to know. The twisted sound grew closer, metal scraping stone, bones grinding, a monstrous growl that felt unnatural, wrong, almost painful to hear. Ryan lifted his weapon, though he knew it would never be enough against something this powerful. The creature stepped into view. It was huge, almost the same size as the Apex One, but twisted, broken, and mutated. Parts of its body looked metallic, while other parts looked like infected flesh. One of its eyes glowed red like a burning coal, the other was missing entirely. Its claws were jagged, uneven, and dripping with dark liquid. Its movements were jerky, unstable, as if something inside it was fighting against itself. Lysera gasped. This is not a creature of our world. Ryan's eyes widened. Then what made it like this? The Apex One roared, the sound shaking the chamber. It stepped forward, placing itself between Ryan and the mutant beast. The Thalran warriors instinctively backed away, stunned by the Guardian's protective stance. The corrupted beast roared back, a screech so loud it shattered small stones. Then it charged. The Apex One launched itself forward with explosive power, wings snapping outward as it collided with the monster. The two giants crashed together like storms colliding, sending shockwaves through the cave. Ryan staggered back, barely keeping his balance. The warriors ducked as debris rained around them. The creatures tore at each other, claws scraping, jaws snapping, wings beating. Sparks flew as metal struck metal on the twisted beast's corrupted skin. The Apex One pushed it back, but the corrupted monster was wildly strong, fighting with reckless, brutal force. Lysera shouted, "The corrupted one carries disease of metal. It infects whatever it touches." Ryan looked sharply at her. "Infects? You mean it spreads?" "Yes. It was seen only once before, long in the past. It destroys everything it touches." Ryan realized the truth. The Apex One wasn't attacking your people. It was trying to stop this thing. The Apex One slammed its wing into the corrupted beast, sending it skidding across the stone floor. The ground trembled, but the mutant creature rose again, roaring in fury. A piece of its metal-like flesh cracked open, revealing a glowing red core underneath. Ryan's eyes narrowed. That must be its weak point. The Apex One lunged again, but the creature dodged and slashed across its side. The Guardian roared in pain, falling back slightly. Dark blue blood spilled onto the stones. Lysera covered her mouth, terrified. Ryan felt something twist inside him. "I have to help it." Lysera grabbed his arm. "You cannot fight something like that." "I'm not fighting it," Ryan said. "I'm helping it win." He sprinted toward the fallen traps and alien tools the elders had given him earlier. He grabbed the sound emitter rod, the energy sphere, and two disc-shaped traps. His plan formed instantly. The corrupted beast charged the Apex One again. Ryan activated the sound emitter. A sharp pulse echoed through the chamber. The corrupted beast jerked in pain, stunned just long enough. "Now!" Ryan shouted. The Apex One slammed its body into the creature, pinning it against the cave wall. Stone cracked under the force. The mutant screeched, snapping its jaws wildly. Ryan rolled across the ground, sliding under the Guardian's wing to get closer. He tossed the energy sphere under the corrupted beast's feet. It activated instantly, forming a glowing barrier that held the monster's legs tight for a few seconds. Just enough time. Ryan hurled the two traps directly at the glowing red core. The discs attached themselves and began to pulse. The corrupted beast howled, thrashing violently. The Apex One leaped away as the traps overloaded. A blinding flash filled the cave. The corrupted creature convulsed, body cracking apart as the infection burned out from inside. Its roars faded into a final echo. Then it collapsed, its twisted body turning dark and still. Silence. The Apex One breathed heavily, its huge body trembling from the battle. Ryan approached slowly. "Are you all right?" he whispered, knowing full well the creature understood his concern. The Apex One lowered its head gently toward him. It was a gesture of gratitude, acceptance. Lysera and the warriors approached, stunned by the sight. They stared at the Guardian with awe, rather than fear for the first time. Lysera spoke softly, her voice shaking. "Ryan, you saved our world." Ryan shook his head. "No. We saved it together." The Apex One made a deep, rumbling sound, almost like agreement. It then pressed its head gently against Ryan's shoulder. It was a bond, simple, pure, and ancient, as if the creature had finally found the companion it had been seeking for years. Lysera smiled softly. The legend was true. The Guardian chooses only once. The elders later confirmed what the carvings had hinted. The Apex One was not just a beast. It was a protector born to defend the balance of the world. But without someone to guide or understand it, it had been lost, fighting alone. Now, it was no longer alone. Ryan stayed with the Thalren for several weeks as their world healed. The destroyed villages were rebuilt. The forests grew peaceful again, and everywhere Ryan went, the Apex One followed. Not like a pet, but like an equal, a companion walking beside him. Eventually, the day came for Ryan to return to Earth. Lysera walked with him to the landing platform, smiling gently. "Our world lives because of you. You will always have a home here." Ryan looked at the Apex One, who watched him quietly. "I never came here to kill a monster," he said softly. "I came here to understand one." The Guardian lowered its head and nudged his arm gently. Ryan smiled and rested his hand on its snout. "You take care of them," he whispered. "I know you will." The creature made a soft, warm sound. As Ryan walked toward the ship, he knew he was leaving behind something rare and powerful, a bond between human and Guardian that would be remembered for generations. The Thalren would one day tell stories of the human who came from the stars not to destroy their protector, but to help it become what it was always meant to be: a guardian, a friend, a legend. And the Apex One, now calm and proud, watched the sky long after Ryan's ship disappeared, waiting for the day its chosen companion might return.